Hey everybody, welcome back to another story. I'm so excited to tell you this one because it kind of relates to yesterday's story in a big way. So, about 2 years after we got the pavers, we were out of the net and the national recession was over. So this had to be around sometime in 2010. And although the economy was starting to turn around, et cetera, the church, we were still catching up because remember we had suspended some retirement benefits. We had suspended some medical reimbursement benefits. We had suspended some auto allowance benefits and other things. We had done some deferred maintenance on the building. So we were kind of catching up. We're catching up. So we don't have any extra money. We're making budget, but we're behind from everything that we're in arrears. And we decided we're going to start praying for a pavilion. Actually, probably right after we got the pavers, we used to have a conference room over in what we call the office where all of our small group rooms are, and it had a big conference table and had a big whiteboard. Remember the whiteboards on the wall? And on the top of the whiteboard, way up high, I wrote prayer request, $25,000 pavilion. Or maybe it was pavilion, $25,000, pray. That's what it was, pray. The staff was praying. Our elders were praying. Maybe one or two other kind of people who were in the office all the time, folding crew, but they probably saw it. Maybe they were praying. And we prayed for a year and a half. This is one of those things. I mean, $25,000 is a huge amount of money. We're praying for a pavilion. We're still using the redneck tents on top of the very beautiful pavers. And I wasn't going to send a letter out to the church to say, hey, could we possibly raise, because we're still kind of catching up. And honestly, if we had an extra $25,000 and, given to the general offering fund, the operating fund, we had plenty to catch up on. So it really wasn't something that I was trying to raise. We were just praying about it. So Nancy and I go to dinner with this couple from our church. They had been in our church at least a decade. We were good friends. And we were eating at Carrabba's. This is before they built a Carrabba's over here by our church. So you had to go all the way Longwood go all the way to Longwood for Carrabba's. We're having dinner. We sit through a 2-hour dinner with these great friends of ours. And we talk about everything, their kids, our kids, church, their business. He was a business guy, so he's dressed in like a button-down shirt, pocket, slacks, no tie or anything, but he looks way fancier dressed than I am because he just came from work. And we're sitting there, and for 2 hours we have this great, and he waits. I can't believe he could wait to the last minute to just dump this on me, and how could he just go that long, right? I would have just been way too excited. So we have all this conversation. We're done with our food. They haven't cleared the plates yet, but it's kind of like the next thing they're going to come get the plates and ask, do you want dessert? And we're going to go, no, we'll take some coffee, but no dessert for us, kind of a thing, because we were stuffed. And he says, he looks at me and he says, well, I know we've been praying for a pavilion. And he reaches in his pocket. He says, we'd like to make a gift to the pavilion fund. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm about to get like $40. Remember the $40 that we had in the land fund for a long time? I'm thinking that this is going to be kind of the seed money that starts the pavilion fund. I'm going to have to open up a pavilion fund so that people can give to this. And he hands me this check, and I open it up, and I just start bawling because he hands me a check for $25,000. And I can barely say thank you. Tears start running down my eyes. About the time the server shows up and she sees my eyes watering, and she's like, is it too spicy? Is it too spicy? And I'm like, yeah, it's too spicy, and she's like, why is he crying? What's going on? And I'm like, it's too spicy. And she's, oh, I'm so sorry, takes it away. And I mean, after all of that time talking to them, to know that he had this, that he was ready to, and I can imagine the look on my face, my jaw just, and God gave us our pavilion. Only about a dozen, maybe 15 people were praying for that. That's what I keep telling you. God answers prayers. Sometimes he answers them when everybody prays and we get everybody praying. Like we're all praying for next year. What are you doing with the new building, Lord? You keep saying to pray for expansion. What do you want us to do? And we're moving forward with that prayerfully. We're going to all pray. All need to pray for that. But sometimes God, he just answers the prayers of a few people. But you can be sure God always answers our prayers. I can't wait to share another story with you tomorrow. See you later. God bless.